Hey folks, and welcome to The Untold Truth. You are now in tune with your girl Farrakhan, giving you the most controversial topics with the most intellectual minds. Today, we bring you another new face. He goes by the name of Talaal.
Hello, how's it going?
How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming out, by the way.
Thank you so much.
It is a pleasure. Not only are you a new face, but you are like a new, different from the kinds of people that we bring here.
Okay.
For those of you all who do not know who Talaal is a herbalist.
Mm-hmm.
But Talaal, you are probably better at defining what a herbalist is.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know, what is a herbalist?
Okay, so a herbalist, so I'll take a step back. Most people know the term naturopath, right? It's the more common term. Naturopaths, if you think of them, are essentially like the jack of all trades. They know a little bit about everything. So a little bit of Chinese medicine, a little bit about plant medicine, homeopathy. An herbalist is essentially the botanical medicine expert. So we specialize in that entirely. So naturopaths would come to me, for example, for education generally on expanding their herbal medicine knowledge and how to use protocols a bit more effectively and such.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So you're not a doctor.
I mean, I'm a botanical doctor in a sense. I'm trained myself, in particular. I'm trained in a lot of the clinical skills that a family doctor would have and the diagnostic skills. I just don't reach for the synthetic drugs. So technically, no, I'm not a doctor, but I have the same kind of training in a sense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to some of the herbal medications that you do create, are these handmade? Like, how do you come up with all of these phenomenal different stuff?
So with with herbs in general, the ways to treat people with them is either you do it through teas or tinctures or like oil infusions or salves and creams like you see over here.
Yeah.
Most of my clients I work with through tinctures, and that's essentially like these bottles right here, as you can see some examples.
Okay.
Tinctures are essentially an extract of herb that is composed of ethanol and water, and each herb has its own like ratio of in terms of how much herb to use and how much ethanol and water and how strong the ethanol is. So it's essentially like botanical extracts.
Sorry, Talaal, what is ethanol?
Ethanol is essentially alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah. As an herbalist, you get your license to have pure alcohol, like 100% alcohol.
Okay.
And I use spring water to dilute it according to the specific herb, and it's a lot more pure that way because I don't have any leftover like corn or wheat proteins.
And do they all consist of alcohol, or are there some things
Tinctures
without?
generally are mainly alcohol. Like
Okay.
they can range between 25 and 90% alcohol strength, depending on the herb. Some tinctures I do with vinegar.
Okay.
And that works again for some of my alcoholic patients and certain herbs that work better in vinegar.
And what kind of alcohol are we talking? Are these like regular bottles in the LCBO?
No,
or?
I go to specific plants and get like 100% like pure alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is you need a specific license to do that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then I dilute it depending on the herb with like really high.
And you hand make these?
Yeah. I work with about like 250, 300 herbs, and I make
Holy
everything
shit.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the herbs I harvest myself, or I know the people that harvest them for me. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily just like going to the shelf and getting organic grade. It's way beyond that. This is herbalist grade. It's peak potency herbs.
Yeah.
They're ethically wild crafted. They're picked with love, and like for some of these herbs, I can even tell you which side of the tree they were picked from. Like they were actually that custom picked for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's super dope.
Yeah, it's pretty nice because not many practitioners can say like they make everything they prescribe.
Yeah.
It's a very empowering process, and it's like one of those things where if society breaks down tomorrow, I'm totally fine to keep going doing what I do. Whilst you can't really say that for a homeopath anymore.
So did you go to school for this as far as okay.
Yeah. I essentially started out being self-taught because I had a lot of health issues when I was a lot younger, and I ended up having to fix myself.
What kind of health issues did you have, if you don't
So
mind me
like
asking?
in my early 20s, like I essentially started having like really serious allergies overnight, and like at that point I was for the first 20 years of my life constantly taking antibiotics. I was just sick all the time, so I would take them like 8 to 10 times a year. It was ridiculous. Yeah. I get to a point where you're really fed up, and like the doctors just basically told me keep taking pills and look the other way, and it didn't really work for me.
Okay.
So I started venturing out and reading and like investigating my own health and other options. I ended up fixing my own self. So I started getting into to the point where I was helping a lot of family and friend, and then it was like to the point where do I want it to be a hobby or a profession? So I just kind of kept going with it.
Yeah.
So I went to training. I've trained at like Ayurveda and like a clinical institute in India. I've trained in Dominion Herbal College, which is the first herbal college in BC.
Mm-hmm.
I've trained with the past president of the Ontario Herbal Association directly, and some of the top herbalists in the field, like Michael Vertoli and such. So
wow.
Yeah. It's like I've been studying herbal medicine for about 5 to 6 years. I'd say.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And how was your experience, like, studying it? Like, do you feel like it was...
It was a lot of work, actually. Yeah.
I
It's
can
pretty
imagine. This
intimidating,
shit does not look easy.
It's not easy at all. No,
Yeah.
I mean, herbal medicine can be as easy as taking like one herb for one ailment,
Yeah.
or as complicated as mixing 9 for that. Like the way I work is so synergized to the personal individual. So if like 10 people come to me with a cold or flu, each person gets something so different. It's not so much as here's a cold formula.
Yeah.
Depends on your pulse rate, your digestion, your constitution, where you're at, where your stress level's at.
So you like individually sit with patients,
yeah.
and you have to, it's not necessarily about them having a cough or a cold,
Mm-hmm.
but you, I'm guessing, kind of research more about the individual and just like their health benefits and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So like for some example, someone comes to me, usually they're like, oh, okay, I have stomach aches or I have trouble with digestion. And after the first 2-hour consultation, we come up with about 10 different things that is actually wrong with the person that they didn't realize.
Yeah.
So I address all that in one bottle.
Okay.
I synergize to that person, as opposed to having so many different treatment protocols and prescribing different supplements and such.
Yo, Talaal, you making a lot of money, bro.
Not really.
Yo, Talaal, you making a lot of money off of this shit.
Not really, man.
Because
no, you don't do this to be very rich, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
It's more like lifestyle and like.
So what is something that you feel like a lot of people approach you about, just as far as any sicknesses, any type of...
I get a lot of like really different things, so ranging from stress, hormonal disorders, like sexual dysfunction, cancer, like literally everything other than flat feet walks into my office. So.
And do you cure anything, or is there kind of, to a certain extent, like, are there some things that you just kind of can't?
I work with everything. I'm legally not allowed to say I cure anything, and I'm legally not allowed to say I diagnose anything. But, there's other wordings we can use. But I've worked with a lot of very extreme cases with great success. I mean, it'd be nice to say I have 100% success with everything, but nobody really does. But I have a pretty high success rate, and seems like clients seem to...
Well, then, nigga, you curing people out here.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's dope. So you brought us a few samples of some of the things that you have created.
Yeah.
And you guys are probably wondering, like, yo, Farrah, how do you know this person? I actually met Talaal through Rooster. Rooster came to work on Tuesday night.
Okay.
And comes with this bottle. It's like, yo, Farrah, I have something to show you. I'm just like, what you gotta show me, Rooster? She's like, so I have a friend. His name's Talaal. He's a herbalist. And this is the bottle that he got me. And I'm not too sure exactly what the bottle was exactly. But what I really loved, this was like a personal type of herbal medication for her. Like, it had her name on it. Like, bruh, that's like you going to the doctors and saying, doctor, I have a cough. And you get a prescription with your motherfucking name on it, with the ingredients. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't generalized. Like, it was specifically for this individual. And then the bottle itself tells you what's in it, like what is made out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a big part of what I do. See, empowering the patient. It's not about getting them to come back forever. It's about, okay, if we know what works for you, you know what works for you. If you need me to teach you how to make it, I will teach you how to make it, and then be on your way and come back to me for something else if you need to.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And so that's what I mean. You don't necessarily get super rich doing that with that business model, but it's more so you're actually trying to make a difference at this point. Yeah.
But one thing I respect is because when we look back at, when we just look at modern day medicine in general, and we look back at even just traditional medicine, where it was actual natural herbs, like people were not depending on pills and all this type of mixed chemical shit that we're putting into our bodies, you know what I mean? And seeing that certain people are kind of, look, Talaal, I have a cough.
I should have bought you something.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah. But like, just seeing that like people are bringing back like the natural medicine, the natural traditional things that actually help you, rather than depending on these prescriptions, these generalized prescriptions. You know, like, I've been sick last week with a cold, and I called the family doctor over to my house. He came over, checked me out, and all he literally did was just put that, what's the thing called? He put that on my chest. Take a breath, Farrah. Okay, you have the virus. Nigga, you didn't even look down my throat. Like, you know what I mean? And he prescribed me an antibiotic that, to be honest, didn't even help. Like, you know what I mean? So that's honestly what I like really love about this. But let's just take a look of some of the things that you have been working on.
Okay.
So this, for example, is a healing salve.
So that's one of my most popular things to use topically. A lot of my clients have that. A really good first aid for like cuts, bruises, infected wounds, like literally first aid, band-aid in like a salve form. Bleeding, that sort of thing, burns, yeah, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Inflammation of the skin, really, really useful.
So if I had a cut on my hand, right, and I put this bad girl on,
yeah,
how long would I heal if I use this?
Well, it depends on the severity, I suppose, but not too long. It's some of the results I've had from are pretty intense. So. And it's a blend of I think 9 different oils. That one I kind of came up with it myself.
Infused oils. Okay, Talaal, you have to read this because everyone's gonna laugh at me because I can't pronounce any of that.
So what do we have in here? Calendula, comfrey, self-heal, poplar bud, St. John's wort yarrow, chamomile, and chickweed. I can explain some of these if you like as well. So basically what this does is we have a lot of anti-inflammatory action, a lot of healing, a regeneration of the actual epithelial cells of the skin, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, nerve pain, and good for bleeding.
Wow.
Yeah, and itching too.
Wow. So like, what if girls' pom-poms itch? They can use this?
No, I have something else for that actually.
Oh, okay, something else. So you have something for girls' whose pom-pom itch.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my pom-pom itch. It's just saying, you know what I mean? Like, gather. Anyways, okay. So this is called the vapor rub.
Yeah. So that's my take on like Vicks Vapor Rub. As opposed to having nasty chemicals, that one's pretty natural. You can even eat it if you want. It's based off ginger, holy basil, and cayenne oil. So it's got a bit of
you need to smell this shit, yo.
Yeah, and it's got like a really nice essential oil blend that mimics that kind of thing. So
this is really good. Damn. Okay, so let's come over to these bottles.
What do we have?
The True Cinnamon.
True Cinnamon. Yeah, this is actually a culinary tincture.
Okay.
Made from fair trade Sri Lankan True Cinnamon, which is the real cinnamon, not the Chinese cassia cinnamon. It's really nice. You can use it again as a culinary thing for baking or in like hot drinks. Or I use it also for blood sugar balancing purposes in like some of my formulas, my tincture formulas for patients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dope. We'll come to you, big bottle. Hold on. Second a little bit. Okay, willow bark.
Willow bark. So that one's like a really hot seller of mine. It's essentially natural aspirin. So without the side effects, without the stomach problems. It's not as strong initially, but it's a lot longer lasting.
Okay.
Very, very, very efficient.
So this is for like good for like headaches, migraines, fevers, and stuff like that.
Not so much fevers, pains, aches, that sort of thing. Like
so sort of like replacing Tylenol and Advil.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have the eczema salve.
That's it. That's in the name. So it's really good for, in particular, skin inflammation and itching. I have a specific herb in there, Heart's Ease, that I use for that. So I really like that.
So this could be used for the pom pom itch.
It personally could. Yeah.
I don't know why I keep bringing that up.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
No, okay. And this is the bruise salve.
So that one you don't use if you have any broken skin or anything because it's very strong, but it's specifically for bruises. Yeah.
For bruises. Okay. And it has chickweed in it.
It does.
God damn. Do not use on broken skin. Okay, you specifically stated that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you.
It's all good.
A lot of motherfucking, not bitches, women would love this shit. The anti-aging cream. This is probably your top seller. This has to be your top seller.
I use really, really high-end cocoa butter and certain oils that are very expensive.
Sweet almond oil.
Yeah, like borage oil.
Cocoa butter, aloe vera, rose water, beeswax, and benzoin. Benzoin.
Yeah, that's the preservative, basically.
Okay.
But the borage oil is essentially what most people skip on. It's really high-end, expensive, high in omega-6. It's really good for wrinkles. This stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah. Dope. Okay, let's see this bad boy right here.
This is just another example of like a culinary tincture that I also use for medicinal purposes. I just brought it because it's a bit more familiar.
Planifolia.
Smell it. Vanilla extract. I make it from really high-end full Madagascar vanilla bean. Yeah, it's really good.
Smells like vanilla. It smells like vanilla with a shot of Appleton.
Yeah. It's nice.
Oh, it actually does. And what does this do?
Again, chefs use it for cooking or whatnot, but this one I use for tumor therapy as well.
Okay.
So it has that kind of purpose.
So do people drink it or do you rub it?
No, I drink it. So with tinctures, like I have like about 250 bottles lined around my office, something like that. So depending on the person, I'll pick like about 5 to 9 different ones and formulate them and blend them into a particular bottle for them.
Yeah.
Depending on the ailment.
So Talaal, all of this sounds great.
Yeah.
You know, you are definitely selling the shit. But like, how much are we looking at when it comes to these bottles? Like, are they decent? Are they affordable? Are these like, okay? So where's the anti-aging cream? We get wrinkles
right
over here.
Mhm.
But a bottle like this,
Mhm.
how much would this cost?
$25.
25.
But that lasts for like 6
Yeah,
months.
there's a lot of shit in
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and you don't you can try some if you want. That's actually a test one. You don't use as much as you think of that. It's like really little. Yeah. And most
So
of
I
my
look at the
salves are
other-
like $20. My tinctures are generally I sell them in 250 ml bottles, which is half the size of this for
Okay.
my clients, and that's about 17 days worth of medicine
Okay.
for about $42. So
Okay.
it's actually very reasonable
Very
comparatively
reasonable.
to like a prescription from a naturopath where you end up spending a few
Yeah.
$100 in supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts and views about just like the modern day medicine, like as you said, like antibiotics
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what the doctors are prescribing and whatnot?
I think modern day medicine is actually really great. I mean, I'm not the kind of practitioner that would demonize it. Obviously, we have surgery, we have some high-end antibiotics that are really good. It's us running to modern medicine for every cough and sneeze and whatnot that's causing a problem with resistance, and like it's basically the overuse of it. And so we're seeing an immense strain on the system right now.
Okay.
And as such, you're seeing the results are actually diminishing, and you're seeing a huge dissatisfaction in the population with regards to healthcare. And so people are looking out for other options, and that's why herbalists are coming out of the dark right now, because people are actually looking for.
So do you feel like
methods.
too much of antibiotics can kind of affect the health of your body?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a living example of that. I was essentially pumped with antibiotics constantly to the point where I had no immune system, right?
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that used to take antibiotics 10 times a year, and I haven't taken synthetics, knock on wood, for over 12 years at this point. Right?
Would you recommend people to get flu shots?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Flu shots are very, very detrimental. I mean, you can kind of argue it for very elderly individuals, and I'm saying argue it, but in my opinion, the flu shot has no place in society at all. And there's actually, I have a lot of evidence myself that it actually has cause effect.
So like the whole get your flu shot so you won't get sick, like that's bullshit.
It is bullshit, but
Yeah.
it makes sense in terms of, hey, you have an entire population to vaccinate every year. That's a lot of money to be made. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So stay away from flu shots.
Stay away from flu shots.
Okay. What is the best thing to do when you have a cold or you have a flu? Like how do we get rid of it?
Rest, honestly. I mean,
Rest.
I could talk about herbs, I could talk about protocols, but like if you get down to the base, it's rest, it's
Okay.
good nutrition, it's reduce your stress.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. You have to get your body to relax and focus on healing as opposed to and don't eat massive amounts of food and whatnot. You just relax.
Yeah.
Give your digestion a break, give your body a break. Sleep is one of the best things you can do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some current herbal medicine that you're taking? Like some of your products that you consistently use on a daily basis?
I always have a formula I'm taking for myself, and like every 2 weeks I kind of change it depending on what's going on in life.
So what did you take this morning?
So my current formula is just basically stress reduction, a bit of energy,
And does that come in a bottle like this, or?
Yeah, about a size about this big.
Okay.
That's what I make for myself because I change it every.
And what's
time.
the intake like? Like you take it in the morning?
I
or?
take I have a couple of cups here, which I usually how I give it to my clients. So you give it to them like that sort of thing. A teaspoon, which is 5 ml, so it's like just right about here.
Okay.
3 times a day, just kind of like a little mini shot.
Yeah.
It's not even a shot; it's a teaspoon. Right?
So how does it make you feel? Like, do you feel neutral? Do you feel like how does it make you feel when you take the stress reliever?
I feel it really quick because tinctures are so bioavailable, especially if you take them on an empty stomach. They go right through your body.
Yeah.
So within 5 to 10 minutes, I totally feel a calming, a real sensation. Like you kind of feel stress relief from like the head area, and my heart rate goes down a little
You know
bit.
what you should create?
Yeah.
You should create bottles where it'll turn people to just like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop beating around the bush.
It's all good.
Do you make bottles to make people's penis size bigger?
That's actually possible. Yeah.
Is it possible?
Yeah. I'm not kidding. Yeah. There's actually stuff I can do to make like breasts bigger.
Have you had a patient come to you and say, listen, brother,
No.
my penis is small and I need a big penis?
No, but it's possible. It's
Okay.
actually possible to do something about that.
It's really crazy. Like, I just don't understand why. Okay, Shalara, you know you can talk, right? This is the untold truth. Okay, so, my friend actually just asked. Her name was not Shalara, by the way.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
She just asked, is there anything to make the female booty area bigger?
bigger,
more plumper.
Yes.
Yes.
There are definitely.
Because you know
things for that.
you got ladies going to the plastic surgery,
Yeah.
taking pills,
Oh yeah.
even to the extent of buying butt pads and stuff. But women don't want to do that.
There's things we can do. Yeah. I mean.
Okay,
we can play
like
with
what,
hormone levels
doctor?
to actually,
Like
I
what?
mean, we could just increase estrogen levels to get to the point where it's like nice and rounded and like constantly. But
Have you created
also,
something like that before?
I have not, but I mean, I would also complement it with a diet really high in like burgers or something. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
Ladies, if you want a fatter booty, you gotta holla at Talaal. Talal's the guy.
Apparently.
Okay, no plastic surgery, guys. You know, we got the herbal, natural stuff that'll get you what it is that you want. But this is just beautiful. Like, I would definitely encourage more traditional herbal things to be recommended to individuals rather than just them taking all these random chemicals,
Absolutely.
random shots to cure or heal ourselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
But are you, and I'm just saying this in a sense because you do create things like this, but are you against going to the doctor and kind of getting yourself checked out, or do you, like, or are you more like?
Some of my clients, I do ask them to go get blood tests for me and stuff, just so I can actually work with the science of it. Because like I'm trained in like East meets West sort of thing, so I'm not just clinical in a sense. I do like some of the Eastern medicine, like Ayurveda and Chinese medicine philosophies. So
Okay.
I do like to see some of the numbers, in particularly like red blood cell counts and stuff like that, depending on what I'm working with, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your views and perspective when it comes to some of the mental health issues that are taking place in today's society? Just in regards to a lot of people that are seeking professional help when it comes to psychosis, when it comes to depression, when it comes to stress, and them being prescribed different types of pills and antibiotics to kind of neutralize their, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So what are your views and perspective when it comes to that?
Initially, that was actually one of the ones I was a little wary to get into because of liability and whatnot, but I got over that. I do treat a bunch. I have a few clients that are bipolar and so with certain psychiatric disorders, in particular depression and whatnot, manic disorders, and I find herbal medicine, or at least from what they're telling me, herbal medicine seems to have made an enormous difference in their life.
In a good
Most
way
of them-
or a bad way?
In a good way. Like, most of them won't come off the antipsychotics, and I will never recommend that because for certain conditions you kind of do have to maintain it at least for a few years.
Yeah.
But they all, the majority of them come off the benzodiazepines, which is like the dopey stuff, like the Valiums and whatnot. That
Okay.
So that in itself is really big, and I'm also helping a lot of them with the innate weight gain that they all get from the medications, right? They actually, increasing the metabolic function and whatnot, so giving them a fighting chance to actually have a body that they're, happy with. For the most part, a lot of, I'd say I have about an 85 to 90% success rate with psychiatric disorders at this point.
Yeah.
I will never say I've cured any of them, and they know it, but I'm making a very large difference in their life where they're actually able to get out of bed.
So would you recommend people who deal with mental health to kind of stay more of a natural
Depends
like-
on the person.
Okay.
It's generally a balance. This is one of those things where you do need a balance between the drug world and the herbal world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are sort of for the prescriptions and the medications when it comes to mental illness, but I guess depending on
It depends
what
on
the person
client.
is. Okay.
Yeah, like there are some of my clients that I know I have like one or two, for example, that have come off everything and they
Yeah.
want my support in
Yeah.
order to maintain it. And in that sense, I'm 100% with them and I don't want them to go back on anything.
Yeah.
But for those that are on it, I'm not, it's kind of a gray area legally too in terms of what I can say, right?
Yeah.
But I would never recommend anyone to go on them in the first place. I mean, it's more so those that are already on them and that are stable.
Do you believe that there's certain mental illnesses that actually don't need any natural herbal medicine or any type of prescribed medicine, and that there's some self rituals that they can kind of take part in healing themselves when it comes to either, and I think specifically when it comes to stress or when it comes to depression?
Absolutely. Meditation is like, again, I totally agree. There's certain things you can do that you don't need to have any therapies for. You can just kind of use your own body and your own mind. So meditation, cold shower therapy is another thing you can do, stuff like that. Been clinically proven to reduce depression as much as Prozac, for example.
Like, you're in the shower taking a cold shower for how long?
Yeah, believe it. Like 2-minute cold shower every morning for like 30 days.
Really?
Has been shown to have significant clinical antidepressive properties, amongst other things. So that's just one thing you can do, for example. As
Okay.
opposed to popping pills. But again, it depends on the person. It's very hard to have a blanket statement on this.
Just as far as marijuana users, because of course there's that stigma of people who smoke marijuana that we are. I should say we because I don't smoke marijuana.
You're gonna have to edit this out, by the way.
Woo! But
Yeah.
like just a stigma when it comes to marijuana, apparently killing your brain cells, and that a lot of young people and adults should stay away from marijuana. Is that more of a myth? Is that more of a truth? Or is it based on depending on the strand of marijuana that you're smoking?
It's a mix of both, I'd say. So, like, again, cannabis is a herb, something I understand very well. It's the modern day cannabis strains that have a wide variety of different constituents that are a bit more psychoactive. So in that sense, they're a bit more psychoactive, but you're never actually killing brain cells. I mean, you'd kill more brain cells headbanging at a metal concert than smoking marijuana.
Really?
Yeah. It's
so that's a myth. That's bullshit.
It's more so it slows down the learning process. It doesn't kill or stop anything. There's a lot of very intelligent people that smoke cannabis constantly, and there's plenty of evidence of
So
that.
it doesn't affect you as you get older? Like just as
How do you
far
mean?
as, cause like a lot of people feel like if you smoke a lot of marijuana when you're young, that when you get older you're gonna be super slow and you're gonna be stupid.
Not necessarily.
And okay.
It depends on how you've used your mind as you age, right? If you're gonna sit on your couch and smoke constantly, yeah, you could probably see a bit of brain.
Would
rot
you
there.
refer hydro marijuana or cess to people who smoke weed?
To those that smoke,
Yeah.
it's always best to go with land race.
So
and
the more natural.
so outdoor, the strains that we haven't really touched.
Yeah,
are
because
essentially
nowadays
the-
people are like mixing shit, like adding chemicals to hydro weed and whatnot.
Hydro is like essentially us trying to force a plant to explode in a manner it's not designed
What about
to.
blunts? Are blunts okay, or just stay away from blunts and smoke
Isn't that
papers?
like tobacco wrap?
Yeah.
Something?
Like backwoods and century
Smoking
Sam's.
in general is terrible. Like if you're to be consuming cannabis, I'd recommend maybe ingesting it in like an edible form or maybe vaporizing it. But
Okay.
smoking, like when you actually, I've heard this from a bunch of people who have advised to move from smoking to vaporizing. The oxidizing effect of actually smoking is such a big part of like it's a big part of the cloudy, tired like thing. When you
Yeah.
actually move away from burning, that all actually dissipates for the most
Yeah.
part.
And by the way, do you make bottles for people who's been smoking cigarettes and want to quit?
Yeah, I do, and I make smoking blends for them.
And
that
have
are-
you
that
had
are
patients that
cannabis-free.
came in and have actually
totally.
like quit cold turkey?
I mean, it's more so for patients who actually want to quit.
Okay.
I work with a few herbs that kind of mimic nicotine at the receptor level, so I work with that internally, and then I'll make them specific smoking blends if they want.
Okay.
Herbal smoking blends that actually help with that too.
How do you feel about like Nicorette patches and vaporizers and things that have been created to kind of decrease the level of nicotine that somebody is taking?
I mean, I've seen them work for some people.
Okay.
It's interesting because they're owned by the tobacco companies, so like they help you quit and then they help you get addicted. But
Yeah.
they have their place.
Okay.
And it's more so if you use them as a temporary tool sort of thing. Like if
Yeah.
you use them constantly. Like I've seen people on Nicorettes for like 10 years. That's a bit of a problem, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay, so Talaal, I'm just curious. So just as far as people who are interested in some of these products that you do have, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing you have way more.
I have a
like this
lot
guy
of
talking
stuff.
about he got a product to make a nigga dick bigger, a girl a butt bigger. You could quit smoking cigarette. Like he got everything. But how does the process work as far as somebody who's interested in purchasing a product of something that they're kind of trying to work with?
So the static products I have are very few in nature, so mainly like the healing salve, like the willow bark, the headache stuff. But most people come to me for consults, which is the backbone of my business. So
Okay.
the initial consult is about almost 2 hours. We talk about a lot of different things about you, and then I do the physical diagnostics. It's kind of like a family doctor. Take out the stethoscope,
Yeah.
blood pressure,
Yeah.
pulse diagnosis, tongue diagnosis, which is more Eastern medicine stuff.
Mhm.
I even take a urine sample and then go back to my little lab, and 10 minutes later I'll come out with a whole bunch of stuff, such as like deficiencies, where you're at biologically when you how you
And
respond
where
to
is
stress.
this happening? Is this happening in a clinic? Is this
Yeah,
happening?
at my clinic. Yeah,
Okay.
the Urban Apothecary. It's around the College and Ossington area.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, it's like in an old Victorian house.
Okay,
essentially.
so they go through a consultation where you then review some of the things that you've learned about your patient.
Mhm.
And then after that, are we waiting a week? Are we waiting a
No,
couple
10
weeks?
minutes,
10
15
minutes.
and then I come up with a really detailed lifestyle dietary plan, and
Okay.
then give you the herbal protocol on top. And then the same night, I send them a very long follow-up email with just basically summarizing everything we've talked about, right? So they have it in visualized in front of them.
And they can always come back and ask for a refill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the most part, people can come in for a follow-up to talk to me some more, and then we can do refills or heal other things, or they can just say, hey, this works really well for me. Can you just refill it? That's fine too. So I work as a pharmacy in that sense too. So a lot of naturopaths and herbalists in the country prescribe through me, kind of like how a doctor prescribes to a pharmacy.
Yeah.
Same thing for me.
So have you ever had a patient come in and ask for something that they don't need, but they just want it because it makes them feel good?
No, I don't think so. That's
No?
actually a good question, yeah.
Because, like, what if somebody comes in and says,
for teas,
hey,
actually,
Dr. Talaal, my back is hurting, or my head is hurting, but their back and their head is really not hurting?
I can't say I have. I mean, some people ask me for teas.
And where I'm going with that question
yeah.
is when it comes to people being addicted to prescribed medicine.
Oh, okay.
So is this something that people can be addicted to and abuse to the sense where they can actually damage their insides?
No. I mean, there's some of the herbs I use can be toxic and dangerous.
Because you got alcohol in here, Talaal.
I do.
Okay.
I mean, and that's the only abuse that you can do. You can kind of like drink it like booze, but some of these are very strong. You can't like consume it like that. It's very strong tasting. So
yeah.
And generally a tincture is about 45% alcohol. So if let's say someone does abuse and chug this entire bottle, they basically had half a liter of vodka. So
holy shit.
With a lot of other herbs in them. So depending on the herb, they could get nice bout of diarrhea or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that person would be stupid because you're paying $80 for a bottle that'll get you drunk when you can just go to the liquor store and just buy a fucking $20 vodka bottle.
Right?
Yeah, that's retarded.
And when you actually taste tinctures, they're a lot stronger.
Yeah.
You won't be able to drink that much.
Exactly. Dope. Well, Talaal, I'm definitely going to be sitting down with you and telling you about my neck pain, my back pain, my everything pain.
You should.
You know what I'm gonna say? But thank you so much for coming out.
It's a pleasure.
It was a pleasure meeting you and learning a lot about what a herbalist is. Rooster has been talking about herbalist. And honestly, I was so ignorant that I assumed that a herbalist is someone who has the best weed on the block.
Hey.
But I was wrong. Right? But how do our beautiful viewers get a hold of you? How can we get in contact with Talaal?
urbanapothecary.ca, it's right there. It's one way to reach me. I've got like links to my social media, Instagram, I've got Facebook. You can kind of follow me around there. I do a lot of presentations, workshops around the city. I'm really all over the place, so it's best to kind of keep in touch and see what's going on. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And if you had one or two words of advice when it comes to the natural health and how to keep your body maintained and content and just taking care of yourself, what would that be to the viewers?
Honestly, what I'm seeing is people are forgetting to eat and sleep and just respecting the fact that they need their own space and their own personal time. So in today's rush society, just make sure you have a few minutes a day to yourself and to actually appreciate, there's very simple things in life, the breath, the waking up in the morning, the sunshine. Take a few minutes in a day to actually appreciate these little things. They'll make a very big difference in the long run.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of my clients that are the most chronically ill, the ones that kind of bypass, things like that in life. So.
Yeah. So what's more important, water or sleep?
Sleep, I'd say.
Sleep?
You can last a couple of days without water.
Oh shit. Sleep or food?
Oh, you're tricking me. Food.
Food or sex?
Sex probably. Yeah,
that was actually I actually was not expecting you to answer the
okay.
question.
Yeah, no, I'm answering
But
that
thank
one.
you so much, Talaal, for coming out to the Untold Truth. You already know. Check out some more videos on the Untold Truth on youtube.com/The Untold Truth Live for more podcast panel discussions and Cypher series. You already know. Stay tuned for the next episode. You are now into with your girl Farrah K, your boy Talaal. Peace and love.
Later.
Honey's built a sound, yeah.